Seeing a ton of possibilities. There's a lot more buttons on this particular model, which means that we have a lot more options effects wise, and I'm really excited about this because I'm somebody that liked to use the knobs and the buttons while I was playing because it gave me a different sound. It allowed me to manipulate the drum sounds, and I feel like that is something that I do see a lot of drummers not doing, and it makes it kind of boring for me, but everybody teach their own. So I like this a lot, but I see that I have to assign these knobs. So I'm also noticing extra layers of volume. So wow, really cool. So this pitch thing is amazing because when it comes to playing back samples for different artists and different keys, this can be very useful. And it's doing it to two pads at the same time. Wow. There's so many menu options. Explorations. Ultimately, I think that the whole purpose of this is sort of changing. I think that the more these can start to handle long playing samples, I think that people are going to start to be able to DJ on this thing more. I've been working on this machine in the DJ space for over 10 years now, and I see that with the advent of the LCD screen being not only color coded but really big, really clear, and being able to show you on the first menu page what the title of each sample is, that you can organize your samples in such a way that you could actually DJ them. So that's actually one of my main interests with this pad, and I'm super excited to have it. So I'm gonna hook up this drum machine to the pedal now. We're gonna see how that goes. Let's see what happens when we put the kick pedal in here. Okay. It's really fun. So, that's what it is when you implement the KT10 into the whole thing. And I'm not even scratching the surface. I haven't even these are not my sounds, by the way. These are just the stock sounds. I must say that off top is that I suggest everybody get into sound designing if you can. I know it's a lot to chew on just between drumming itself and getting your ideas implemented on the pad. But once you get comfortable with this thing, put your own sounds in this thing, and that really becomes your instrument, and now it's a whole thing. It's a whole new world after that. So SPDS X Pro, this is the truth. I'm super excited about it. Thank you so much, Roland. More to come for sure. Right now I'm going to open up the KT10. So it's been a while, and the feel of a new kick pedal is everything. Yes. Gorgeous. Manual. It's good to keep these around. I also can't tell the world how many of these particular pad mounts I've collected and lost over the years, or beat up or broken, but definitely in the dozens. These stands are so important. Because really, not everybody has a stand that fits the mount for the SPDS. So it's always good to have one when you travel, one or two with you. I at least carry one of these and a clamp. Very important, the bag. So many more outs, so many more trigger possibilities, so much more independent tracking ability. So individual pads can now get their own individual line out, where in the past you used to only be able to really get, off the top of my head, three or four outs into something. So this is much more independence. And the screen, oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much, Roland. Oh my God. A closer look. So I've got the power in, the power switch. Then there's a USB part of it. So for computer and for a memory stick. Memory stick is how I used to, or how one traditionally uploads and imports their individual waveforms, their individual sounds. A volume knob, MIDI in and out, an audio line in, so that would be like a microphone, a handheld microphone, and there is an actual dedicated volume knob in the back for that line. There's a foot switch, so maybe an FS6, you could plug that into this for really quick on and offs. There's a hi-hat control and expression pedal, so if you have the Roland hi-hat trigger pedal, that would go right in there. And that's specifically dedicated for the kind of polarity that those hi-hat pedals require, you know, as is the nature of a hi-hat. So to recreate that, they needed to make a line just for that. I see here we have trigger in 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that I could have a total of 8 drum triggers triggering sounds off of this on an acoustic kit, getting a hybrid sound that would be monstrous. 8 of them. That's insane. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's look down here. We have a right and left balance out. That's what normally comes with the SPDS, SPDS-X, SPDS-XE, SPDS-XSE, so many letters, and then the SPDS-SX Pro. Man, look, headphone out, and then we've got direct balanced outs. So that means that 4 items can be isolated and sent as its own channel to a mixing board. So you could separate digital snare, digital kick, digital hi-hat, and digital clap, for instance, or a cymbal, or whatever sound you want. So let's go ahead and put it to the test.